there, it's none of my business, I know, but I couldn't help but notice, looks like psychosis. Life on relationship low, what's going on over there? It's none of my business, I know, but I couldn't help but notice, looks like psychosis. We live on relationship road.
Paula walks as quickly as she can, head down and worried. However, instead of going to her own front door, she crosses the road and heads straight to number 3. She is determined to keep her promise to Peter to check in on him and Alice. And she also wants to put his mind at rest about the little dog. Brendan, who was out looking for the dog for a friend of his, seemed very nice, and he was so understanding about taking Caesar back to his owner, walking the other way towards the wood so that Alice didn't see him again. "Hello," says Paula brightly. "How's Alice?" "She seems fine now. You would hardly know that anything had happened, other than the fact that she is very tired." "Would you like to come in and speak to her?" Peter asks. "If you don't mind, I think I should get back home, but I just wanted to check that everything was all right." Paula manages a smile and turns away. "Paula," Peter calls her back. "I'm so grateful for your help today. I just wanted to say thank you properly." "Oh, it was no bother, Peter. I was happy to help. You know where I am if you need anything." Paula then turns away from the house and crosses the road back to her own place. She spots Sean watching her from the upstairs window. She suddenly feels sick with dread. She just knows that he will be in a foul mood. "Where the hell have you been? I'm starving!" shouts Sean angrily as Paula steps inside their house. She looks at Sean standing at the top of the stairs, and immediately she is worried about what he has been doing up there. Paula also knows that she mustn't show her concern, or he will use it against her in some horrible way. She stands there in silence, not knowing what to do or say. Sean comes down the stairs, and suddenly he becomes someone else. "I was worried about you, that's all," he says, sounding entirely sincere. "After all, you never go out and it's getting late. I thought something bad might have happened to you." Paula doesn't know how to react to this sudden shift in behaviour, although she has seen it a few times lately. It's as though Sean has become Jekyll and Hyde. But the problem is, she never knows which one he's going to be. She decides that she should tell Sean about the missing dog and Alice across the road. But as she tells her story, she can see his face darken with anger. However, he controls himself as he says carefully, "So let me get this straight. Not only did you go off with these people in their car to look for this woman, but you then also went to their house before coming here when you got back. Is that right?" "Yes, I suppose I did," replies Paula a bit hesitantly. And then with more intent she continues, "But as I explained, I had promised to look in on Alice and I didn't want to come in and have to go out again. So it's okay to leave me here worried sick about you while you go off making a nuisance of yourself with the people in the street. You're so selfish sometimes, Paula." "I was not making a nuisance of myself," says Paula, her voice beginning to rise. "They asked for my help and I gave it." "So now you think you're something special, do you?" jeers Sean, trying to turn around what Paula is saying. "They were just using you, but you're too stupid to see it." Paula moves to turn away, but Sean grabs her by the wrist and wrenches her back around to face him. He holds onto her wrist, slightly twisting it as he says menacingly, "I've told you before, we don't mix with the people on the street." "Ah, that hurts!" Paula exclaims in surprise, because for all his unpleasantness, Sean has never before hurt her physically. Paula is surprised by his action. She finds herself apologizing to him for being thoughtless and not remembering to do as he had told her. For the first time in their married life, Paula feels just a little bit afraid of Sean. He has been hurting her with words for a long time, but this behaviour is new. Then almost as suddenly as it had come, the anger in Sean seems to disappear, and he says brightly, "Right, you get your coat on and go and fetch us a takeaway and bring back some cans with you, so you might as well. You know, I was only mad because I care about you." Then even more amazingly, he pulls out a few notes from his wallet and thrusts them into Paula's hand. "Buy yourself a nice box of chocolates while you're at it. You deserve a treat every now and again." And with that, Sean leaves the confused Paula alone in the hall, while he heads into the lounge to assume his usual seat and watch TV. Paula puts her coat on and heads out the door. She suddenly feels overcome with tiredness, and she is grateful to not have to cook tonight. She rubs her wrist, which still feels a bit sore, but she decides to put the whole episode behind her. After all, she thinks, perhaps I was a bit selfish not letting Sean know where I was. Maybe he's right and I should have gone home before going back to see Alice and Peter. It's good to know that he was concerned about me. It's nice of him to pay for our meal this evening. Perhaps I have been too hard on him lately. He's not all bad. But after these thoughts come different ones. I didn't mention meeting Brendan to Sean. I left that bit out of the story. I know that I did because I was afraid that he would be even more mad if he thought there was another man involved. Best not to ever mention that. He frightened me a bit tonight. He's never been quite like that before. I don't know what to think anymore. I don't know what to do. I can't see a way through this. Maybe it's me. Paula feels completely confused, while Sean, back in the house, is very pleased with his performance. He is fully aware that Paula won't know what to think, and for now he has regained control over her and her movements. He can't afford to let her start getting her own life back, or that might lead to her questioning the status quo. Sean is happy knowing that he has put Paula back in her place. Simon in flat 16 is beginning to feel a lot more comfortable in his new home. He has been getting on really well with Molly, who lives beneath him, and work seems to be going okay as well, although a few clients seem to have shown surprise at meeting him and finding that he is black. He can't help smiling at his last meeting on Friday. The lady was very nice and covered up her surprise really well. However, she couldn't resist asking him where he came from. And when he told her that he had been born in the south of this country, she nearly fell off her chair. It was quite clear that she thought he was going to say something like Kenya or Jamaica, or somewhere that sounded a lot more exotic than her own country. He knew that she meant no harm by her comment, but he does get fed up with people thinking that he must come from somewhere else. When will people begin to accept that every nation is now made up of a variety of ethnic groups? Simon sighs as he knows that we are still a long way off people presuming that you must be white because that's how you sound on the phone. Still, it can be amusing sometimes. I just wish it didn't happen as often as it does, he thinks to himself. Simon showers, dresses, and knocks on Molly's door. God, he's so punctual, thinks Molly to herself, who has agreed to go for a meal with Simon to celebrate him surviving his first month at the new job. She grabs her bag and her keys and heads to the door. "Hi," she says, looking at him admiringly. He's wearing close-fitting jeans, an open-neck shirt and clean shoes. Molly likes guys who clean their shoes. You can tell a lot about someone from their shoes, she has often commented to her grandmother. Molly and Simon have met up a few times since the day she introduced herself to him with the cupcakes, and things are really easy between them. I wonder if he fancies me, Molly thinks, but immediately dismisses the idea as Simon has never shown any indication of an attraction towards her. Just good friends, she reminds herself, and right now that's all I want. Molly and Simon are eating at the barn. There is going to be a small event in the huge garden, but this doesn't affect them as they are eating inside. However, they are delighted to be able to see what is going on as they are seated by a window. However, COVID regulations mean that they are limited to how much time they can spend inside, and it's a ticket-only event outside to ensure that there is plenty of room and social distancing. I don't think we'll get to see or hear much of the performances tonight, Molly says to Simon. If I'd known about the event, I could have got us tickets for after the meal, replies Simon with some regret in his voice. Well, it doesn't really matter. We can always put music on when we get back and have our own event, laughs Molly. It's probably safer that way. She looks out the window and sees people beginning to arrive for the garden gig. Then suddenly she spots someone she recognises. It's Paval from number 18. She looks to see if she can see her new friend Kasia, but it seems that Paval is with the male friend. No sign of Kasia at all. Molly suddenly feels very sad for Kasia. She doesn't know her very well yet, but she's sure that Kasia isn't very happy with Paval, even though she has never actually said so. Molly points out Paval to Simon, who has never seen him yet. Oh, I recognise that guy from the park, says Simon. He's often jogging there with his mate, but I didn't realise he lives in our block. You say he's in number 18 with that Polish lady. Are they married? Yes, I believe so, says Molly, but I get the impression that things aren't that good between them. Almost immediately, Molly feels guilty for saying that. It's none of her business, and she knows that she shouldn't be discussing it with Simon. Quickly, she says, I don't know why I said that. It's none of my business anyway. It's just that Kasia sometimes looks so down, and now her husband is out and about without her. It makes me sad for her. Molly knows that she is blushing with embarrassment. It's fine, says Simon. I'm hardly going to say anything to anyone. You forget that I'm new to this area and I don't know many people yet, and you're the only one that I really get to talk to, so your ideas are safe with me. He gives her hand a friendly squeeze and Molly feels a little shiver of excitement. It's the first time a man has touched her in any way since her breakup with Robbie. Strange, she thinks. I rarely think of Robbie these days. It's amazing what time and other distractions can achieve. Time to go, I'm afraid, says Simon, breaking into her thoughts. He generously pays for both of them before they head back to their flats in Relationship Road. If you have something you would like to share or a concern you would like addressed, please send it in and we will try and incorporate it into the future storylines. Tune in again for the next episode of Relationship Road.
Welcome to Relationship Road, where people live just like me and you, alone or together in all kinds of weather, and most of them are scared of this flu. What's going on over there? It's none of my business, I know, but I couldn't help but notice it looks like psychosis. The pressure's starting to show. What kind of neighbor am I? Am I doing my bit for the road? My parents are elderly, my children disorderly, the whole world is suddenly slow. What's going on over there? It's none of my business, I know, but I couldn't help but notice it looks like psychosis. The pressure's starting to show. And if you need me, let me know, and I will be the first to show. What's going on over there? It's none of my business, I know, but I couldn't help